Welcome to Bitcoin News today on the 9th of August 2018. And this episode is all about, will the Bitcoin price rise again? So I'm going to be looking at some technical analysis. What you're looking at now is the total market capitalization of several different coins and altcoins. Now this one at the top is Bitcoin, and this is the year-to-date graph. So you'll see that it did dip and it's been gradually building, and we're currently at an all-time high for the year. This means that more people have invested in Bitcoin, and they've also shifted some of their investments from altcoins, which you can see have gone down slightly, to Bitcoin, which has gone up. Could also be new money coming in. Now the very interesting thing is that despite the Bitcoin price dropping severely recently, which people put down to news or delays regarding ETF approvals, that's the reason in the news. Despite that happening, Bitcoin shorts have been going up dramatically. So let's go to Bitcoin USD shorts on TradingView. And this is data from Bitfinex. So as you can see, since the 3rd of August, the amount of people shorting Bitcoin, i.e. betting against Bitcoin, has been increasing exponentially. And whenever we see that happen, the Bitcoin price normally goes up soon afterwards, as I'll show you in a moment. Now, one other thing that I want to show you is the Bitcoin futures. So let's just show you that quickly, and then I'll go into the details of each one. Now, on Bitcoin futures, the interesting thing is they have a closing time and an opening time on the next day. And sometimes there is a gap between the opening times and the closing times. And whenever there's a gap, that gap always gets filled, and often it gets filled soon afterwards. So we've currently got a gap between $7,164 and $7,283. So that gap will get filled, and it will get filled soon. So you can expect the price to rise at least until that level. But let's look at the shorts and just give you some examples of that. And I'm going to overlay the charts. So I'll bring up Coinbase for the Bitcoin chart. So you can see this is the Bitcoin chart. So to avoid any confusion, and I'm going to compare that with the Bitcoin USD shorts from Bitfinex, which you can see is in slightly different colors and with a different style of graph. So hopefully that is clear. So let's look for times in the future, in the past. If only we could look into the future, that would be fantastic. So let's look for times where the price has, or the amount of shorts has increased rapidly. So here is one time that happened on the 25th of January. The amount of shorts increased extremely high there. The price of Bitcoin did drop slightly, but then it did increase afterwards. So if we measure from, the shorts increased rapidly and then dropped. So if we go from this bottom point here to the next peak, that was a 61% gain after that happened. Then again it happened here. You can see that the amount of shorts increased quite rapidly. Then from the lowest price there soon after to the next peak was a 20% gain. So let's see if we can find another one. Here's another one here. It increased, the amount of shorts increased really rapidly, and we went from a bottom to a top there, a 12% gain. And overall you can see that there was a really big increase from down here to up there, extremely high. So then it did suddenly drop off. Now that drop off could be a good signal of when to buy, because the price was low down here and then it did go to a peak which was a 44% gain. So it does seem correlated to me that when the shorts does increase rapidly like we're seeing at the moment, and especially when it does drop off suddenly, now that could be due to stop losses being triggered, and when the stop losses are triggered, people have to buy the Bitcoin, which then increases the Bitcoin price. So shorts are a fabulous way to predict the future market. Let's take that comparison off, and I've been noticing a pattern, kind of like a ascending wedge pattern. Now I've had to move this bottom line because we did see a drop below that line, but if that is still a pattern, and I'm not sure whether it is or not, to be honest, so this is my speculation, but if we are still within that pattern there and this did not hit the bottom here like I thought, then potentially we can see a bounce off that line. We did touch that line and then we've seen a bounce upwards. Now the RSI as well is extremely low, and it's remained low at levels of just 0.2, which is really, really low. And we've not seen that happen for quite a while either. And if we go back into the history of Bitcoin and we look for a similar very low RSI, which we had here, it's not exactly the same, but we did have a prolonged low RSI. What happened after that, we went from a low of 12.8 thousand up to 16.9 thousand, which was a 33% gain after a prolonged low RSI. The other thing that's really interesting about the chart, in my opinion, is that we did see a spike in volume at the bottom here, and that spike could indicate that we have hit the bottom for now, because if you look in the past, when we had a spike here, that was the top, then it dropped. When we had a spike here, that spike, well, that didn't quite play out there, but maybe it was related to this one, maybe a delayed spike in volume, or that was odd, to be honest. This whole section was odd because we just resumed back on the previous course here, so maybe there's some manipulation involved there. Let me know what you think in the comments. But yeah, can't explain that one, it doesn't fit in with the pattern. When we saw a spike here, we was about at the bottom, but then probably some more bad news drove the price down there. When we saw a spike here, we was not at the bottom either. It's been an odd time really, but normally a big spike in volume can indicate that you're at the top or the bottom. Like this spike here, this one did play out. We got a spike in volume here when we was at the top, and then it went down. We got the other spike there, so we thought that was the bottom there. Actually, it went down slightly more. Not by a lot, so let's just measure that difference. So it's from here to here. It's only a 1.71% change, so not very significant. So everything to me is pointing to a bounce happening, and we are seeing the beginnings of that now. We are seeing a little bit of a gain in price. So I know a lot of people are looking at how to short Bitcoin, but really you'd be crazy to short Bitcoin now, because we've already seen a drop of 26%. We're not going to see Bitcoin drop much further than that. So potentially you're risking your money by shorting Bitcoin at this time. I would say it's a good opportunity to buy. And if you are new to Bitcoin, you can get a $10 free bonus by clicking the link in my video description. Please give the video a thumbs up if you appreciated the content and subscribe, and check out this video which I'm sure you will love as well. See you again soon and bye for now.